Okay, it's September 4th, 2019. I believe I can say with some confidence that this is going to be the last of the Transforming Game videos. There's just a few pages of this text left. This has been surprisingly fertile for reflection and improvisation. Okay, uh, this is a piece. Uh, the point of concentration. This always in my mind has been the seminal piece for what I've written about improvisation on the Rick blog. Let's see how it stands up to this process we're going through here. The point of concentration is a base concept of improvisational acting that is widely misunderstood by many, quote, improv, a horrible term that denotes a surface and abbreviated understanding of the art, instructors. The instructors, much like fundamentalist religious leaders in relation to a biblical text, consider the concept in an overly material and concrete manner. Students are taught to respect the integrity of an imaginary object, an orange, a softball, a piece of wood, for example, and discouraged from allowing contemplation of the object to inspire exploration of broader, deeper, and more important feelings and ideas inspired by the object. The resulting scenes, both in the immediate workshop and in the player's subsequent careers, are superficial and lack meaningful content. Audiences are inflicted with scenes considering the stitching on a baseball instead of, say, a meditation on the role of sports in American culture. Take that improvisational acting staple, the relationship scene, in which the point of concentration is the connection between, or lack thereof, two players in a scene. An excellent early example of this type of scene from the 1960s and directed by Paul Sills exposed the relationship between two women, played by Barbara Harris and Zora Lampert. The scene used the tension and warmth between the players as a starting point that evolved into an emotionally harrowing and intellectually provocative consideration of date rape at a time when such a topic was rarely even broached on a popular stage, comedic or otherwise. Compare this meaningful engagement with the audience with the current deluge of dating relationship scenes, which either come to sentimental conclusions of love found or cynical comments about the acceptance of loneliness and the futility of even trying to establish intimacy with anyone. Audiences walk away with no insights that they didn't enter the theater with, and at best, a few forgettable laughs. This sorry state of affairs could be traced to the lack of general education of the instructors themselves. Their intellectual laziness leads contemporary improvisational practice into the shallows described above. This piece is not a blanket criticism of all teaching in the improvisational theater. Some excellent work is being done, usually in obscure and out of the way places. Paul Sills and Viola Spolin, the artistic and theoretical forces behind all that was and remains good about improvisational theater, had a general knowledge of sociology, educational theory and practice, history, economics, theology, philosophy, world theater, journalism, literature, political science, and, quote, all the actions and passions of life about, end of quote, as Mark Twain would say. So do I and some others. Much of current improvisational instruction is overly incestuous. A cabal of teachers, quote, know the form, share the limited knowledge as a means of undeserved self affirmation, and marginalize anything that challenges their illusion of expertise, and it's commercialized. Students leave, quote, improv classes filled with excitement related to the freeing aspects of play. That benefit of Sills and Spolin's work seems indestructible no matter how badly it's mishandled, and with an in group sense of superiority that shrouds the mediocrity of their efforts, to them anyway. Improvisational instructors should be particularly interested in all of the arts. What is true about creative process is true in every artistic form and genre. I'm very interested in the form of the personal essay. The essayist typically uses a singular focus, a point of concentration, if you will, as a jumping off point for a discussion of wider matters. One random example of such is an essay. One random example of such an essay is Gore Vidal's piece on Tennessee Williams' memoirs, Some Memories of the Glorious Bird and an Earlier Self. The writer Philip Lopati said that Vidal uses Williams' work as, quote, a point of departure for a wider meditation on the subject. Lopate continues, often Vidal will bring in personal experiences that bear on the public figure or the topic. Vidal reveals a good deal about his life and character. Advanced improvisational practice can reach the same heights in personal, existential, cultural, political, and communal exploration as writing does when it's executed with a deep understanding of craft and its theoretical basis by the best writers. It's been done before by Paul Sills, Viola Spolin, and some of the players that they taught and directed. It pains me to see so much of a revolutionary theatrical art that has achieved so much and is still in its infancy be reduced to parlor games that serious people do not view as anything of importance. Much of current improvisational instruction exploits a valid aspiration in the uninitiated. Good work can be done. Sills and Spolin have shown us how. Improvisational artists have a responsibility to revere the concepts and foundations that they gave us and bring the form forward as painters, writers, and other artists have done for their forms for centuries. What we have mostly now are fading Xerox copies of work done in middling sketch comedy reviews with shallow new pop culture references filling in the blanks. I still think that's a good piece. I think it's good criticism, and I also think it points to uh, deeper matters. So I like that without much further comment. Okay, this next thing, good improvisation requires endurance. It gets harder to maintain one's point of concentration the longer one plays. Complex points of concentration require long periods of play. And I'm experiencing that today because I'm here improvising a piece that's running a couple hours, and I'm maintaining the focus, I believe. So yes, that's a good point, and I think these videos are a good representation that illustrate it. Okay, this next short piece or point says when you use your imagination while grounded by the point of concentration, you achieve innovation and discovery. When you don't separate yourself from the collective and alienate yourself through escapist fantasy or cliche, disassociated from the present moment, that's a sentence fragment, and I'm not sure what it means. Let's see if we get to the meaning here by coming through this. Imagination becomes abstraction. Mere convention is always abstraction. Since the point of concentration is an abstraction itself, a theoretical construct looking for a systematic understanding of the world, convention only answers a question with a question. The new is really an insight into the real. The old is a cliched explanation based on an incomplete and compromised data. The fantastical is a wish to be somewhere else. Well, let me try to say that in English. Uh, those are really notes. It's not really that never really became writing. Uh, but I think I know what I was saying here. The point of concentration connects you to reality, but reality has no meaning. We have to imagine it. So if we merge our creativity with the reality that we approach. It's actually improvisation is a process. Wow, this is actually coming to a profound point. Improvisation is a process that, when successful, finds meaning. So the process of improvisation uh, it brings high consciousness to reality and and infuses meaning into that reality. Wow, that's a pretty important point. All right, this next piece, improvisation changes into something else. The best improvisation transcends improvisation. The boundaries of the improvisation community dissolve, and there is only creativity in its myriad forms and in the specific way that I approach it. I no longer improvise. I teach, I write, I have here, I perform. I don't perform. I don't like the word perform. I express who I am in ways that suit me, that occur to me, and where I have the opportunity to do so. The great transforming power of improvisation has turned the game into my life and my work. Improvisation is too small a word for what and who I am. My work is not just off the cuff or limited to only the spontaneous. Viola Spolin and Paul Sills, but also many others, Jesuits, lawyers, professors, my parents, writers, movie makers, visual artists. They taught me how to consciously be me. And now their concepts have been honored and replaced by my new personal vistas. This happened long ago, and I'm fully conscious of it now. I am no longer an improviser any more than I am still a Jesuit schoolboy. I am me, indebted to and the product of my past, but a formed person, a new, mature being. My work writing and teaching and talking, I'm not performing, I forget that word performing, and talking about what I learn as I teach are what is important to me now, and as I write, and as I talk. My life's work is the discovery and sharing of my voice. And improvisation was a very important chapter in that journey. Boy, that means a lot to me. My life's work is the discovery and sharing of my voice. That is what I do. That's what I do. I have struggled with improvisation because I loved it so, and I have outgrown it. For many, it can be a final destination, their art. For me, it was a formative phase that taught me so much that is useful in being me and doing what I do. Books, more classes, theater pieces done alone and with others to come, but not limited as being purely improvised, unless that form is what is called for by what I want to express. And that is it. That's the end of the improvisational section of the Ethical Presence manuscript. And that's the end of the Transforming Game videos. All right. See you next time.